Hello, Chase the Traveler again with a new episode from Brazil. Right now, I'm at the Pantanal Shopping Center. It's right over there. It's another place where the upper class Brazilians like to go to shop. But I'm going to walk around a bit before I go inside. And today we're going to talk about some of the things that I don't like about Brazil. So we're going to talk about some of the little concerns, some of the little things that irritate me. The other day I did an episode on some of the things that I liked. So now, all right, let's get to it. Let me tell you, there are a lot of things I like about Brazil, but there are some minor inconveniences. And when I say minor, they're not that big, but they're small little inconveniences. And if you come straight from Japan to here, you'll notice it. One thing is that I noticed the electronics over here just don't work as well. I mean, I didn't really look at the brand. I'm pretty sure that they're not Japanese, but at one Airbnb that I was at, the TV didn't work properly. Now I'm on my third Airbnb right now, and the remote is kind of slow. I'm trying to turn up the volume or turn down the volume, but it's not really going up or down like I want it to. And normally that stuff doesn't happen. Now, another thing that kind of irritates me is, now, this has nothing to do with Brazilian people. It really has something to do with me. I didn't really come here that prepared. And what I mean by I didn't come prepared, I didn't realize that there's some countries that don't make it easy for you if you don't speak their language. Now, maybe it's different in São Paulo, but over here in Cuiabá, you'll go through hell if you don't really speak Portuguese. I was about to say if you don't speak Brazilian, but there's no such thing. If you don't speak Portuguese, you're gonna have problems. I mean, this country, Japan kind of like goes out of its way to a certain degree for you to be able to maneuver without having to speak Japanese. I mean, if you take the train, a lot of the signs are in English. Recently, they started to put Chinese and Korean in there. So, you're going to be able to navigate. Now, some of the announcements on the train are also in English. The buses too. Over here in Brazil, if you don't have your Portuguese game on, you're going to have a tough time doing a lot of things. Now, of course, I'm not saying that they should make it easy for people like me. I mean, this is their country, so they have a right to speak whatever they want. And if they don't really want you to, if they don't want to make it easy for you, hey, I'm okay with it. And honestly, if I decided to stay here a little longer, I wouldn't mind speaking Portuguese or learning the language. Like I said, you've got a part of Brazil that's made for upper class, upper income people, right next to something that might not be. Too desirable. But either way, that's one of the things that I don't like. Another thing is that, you got to pay the foreign tax over here. No, not to the government. you got to pay the foreign tax to certain people, not to everybody. Some people will give you the correct price, but some people are definitely going to make sure that you pay the foreign tax. As soon as you open your mouth, boom, all of a sudden the price goes up. I mean, water over here, just like a small bottle of water, pay about maybe 2 Brazilian real, maybe about 50 cents. All of a sudden, you go in there, you want to buy it, you open your mouth, it's 3 real. Now, it doesn't bother me that much, but it's a little irritating because I feel like every time I have to calculate and I have to think. Things like that you don't have to really do in Japan. You don't really have to do it in America as much. Another thing that irritates me is the keys over here. I mean, getting in and out of an apartment is kind of, I mean, it's a little troublesome. Let me explain. Now, when you go into an apartment, you have to open it up with the key. Of course, that's normal. There's no problem with that. Now, over here, when you go into an apartment, and most of the Airbnbs that I've stayed at have been this way. You will come into your house using your key. But when you leave your house, you have to use your key to get out too. I don't get it. Why should you have to use your key to get out of your house? I mean, they should just have like a doorknob. I mean, again, it's not, I mean, maybe there's a security thing, I don't know. But it's a little irritating. Now, you have, I sense a little bit of, there's a little bit of a divide when it comes to foreigners doing business. I mean, when I've tried to talk business or tried to point out certain opportunities to some Brazilians, say, hey, you know something? I see a lot of opportunities here. I mean, especially the Brazilians that are living in Japan. I mean, honestly, I think they made a good move to go over there. Maybe if they couldn't find as much work, or they're making more there. But I really think the opportunity is right here in Brazil. I really do. I think that there are plenty of opportunities here. And if I was a Brazilian person living in Japan, I would save up some money and come back over here and set up shop. I don't think that Japan has more opportunity than Brazil. But let's get back to the topic. Things I don't like about Brazil. Now, I also feel that there's a class divide here to a certain degree. And people who have a little bit more kind of like get the better service. And if they think you have a little bit more, they give you the good service. And if they don't think you have a little bit more, you don't get as good a service. But I also think that Brazilians understand how to give good service. I've seen it. I've seen it. I've experienced it. And usually you get that good service when either they don't think you're Brazilian and they think you come from one of those developed countries, or you look like you deserve good service, or you look rich or something. So that kind of definitely annoys me a little bit. Now, I would say for the most part, the construction over here also kind of like annoys me to a certain degree. I mean, at my Airbnb, the stairs to go up are like 1.5 feet. And I mean, this one is not like one of those expensive Airbnbs that I'm staying at right now. But you kind of have to struggle to get in there because the door opens and all of a sudden there's like, you know, the stairs are right there. So you can't really open it as wide as you'd like. And you can't close it. I mean, what I mean is you can't really open it all the way. So most certainly, there are a lot of little inconveniences that you will experience, especially if you come from the first world. Now, of course, you can get comfortable and you could live as if you are in the first world over here. It's just about how much money do you have in your pocket. And if you have the money in your pocket, you're definitely going to be living like you were living in Japan, and even better. Now, another little thing that kind of annoys me is that Brazil is not as cheap as you would think it is. It's definitely not. I would say Japan is, if you're looking for accommodation that's up to like Japanese standards, you're definitely going to be paying more over here in Brazil. In food, I mean, again, like I said, you can go as high up as you want, but I'm talking about like the bottom. Like in Japan, I mean, you know, definitely if you go to Lawson, you can definitely find a bento for, I'd say about 500 yen. So that's about maybe $3.50, $4 for lunch. I don't think you're going to find that here. And you know, one thing that kind of like confuses me a little bit is like, you have buildings that look good that probably cost a lot of money, and they're across the street from something that doesn't look as nice. So if you're trying to buy real estate, I would say it could get a little confusing, because the building in front of you or the house in front of you looks really nice. But if you buy something next to it, I'm not sure that your property value is going to go up as much. I mean, I don't know that for a fact, but I mean, again, I don't know. I mean, but it's something that I just have a feeling of. So, most certainly, there are little things that kind of like irritate people, but again, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that I'm totally frustrated here on a daily basis. Now, not so much in this neighborhood, but there are neighborhoods that every 2 steps you take, there are dogs barking. You can't even do anything. So that is definitely frustrating at times when you have to deal with barking dogs. But I'm telling you, Brazil has some really smart dogs. I mean, the dogs over here, I've seen them try to cross the street, see a car, turn back again, and then cross. So these dogs out here are way more intelligent than your average mutt. I mean, no. Yeah, well, than your average, like, purebred dog in America. Shit. So, I would definitely say that I definitely want to understand this country a lot more than I do right now. And it's just a matter of, I think there's just like a learning curve that I got to go through. But, you know, another little thing I would say that I find a little annoying about Brazil is that I've been looking for like a bar, like to go hang out and to go meet people. And where people are just walking around, you know, like they don't come in with friends or whatever, or, you know. And it's kind of tough. I mean, I've looked, I've searched, and pretty much all the places that I've seen are places where people go, they listen to live music, even discotheques, but then they come with certain groups of people and they sit at the same table. So it doesn't look like people are mixing as much as they're supposed to mix. And it kind of like changes my image of Brazil to a certain degree, because when you go to Sao Paulo, you see people dancing, people meeting people. Over here in Cuiabá, I don't see that as much. I definitely don't. So it's a little different. Definitely a little different. Now, I think I definitely need to head back. Excuse me. I think I definitely need to head back in the direction where I came from in order not to get lost. But that's one thing that I did notice, that it's not that easy to make friends over here unless you know somebody and they introduce you, and then they, you know, it's not really a touristy area. And the tourists that do come, I think they go to the Pantanal or something. You know, these wires are like really, there we go. These wires are low. I don't know if people get electrocuted. I hope not. Maybe not, because I mean, obviously, if it's still that low, nobody said anything, so I guess they're okay. But I'm definitely not going to be trying to find out. So most certainly, you know, I really want to meet people over here, but I don't think that it's like, people are a little bit more reserved, I would say. I mean, yes, I have met people here. I've had a few drinks with certain people. I have communicated with people, but I would say that again, I mean, you know, it's a little different. And maybe it's because I don't speak Portuguese, or maybe it's because I'm older, I don't know. But most certainly, I feel like I want to meet the people out here. I've been looking for a place to meet people, but I can't. Either because of language or because I don't know enough people. I know a lot of you have expressed some concerns about me walking in these neighborhoods. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. I was a little concerned also. Now I'm less concerned. I'm not saying I'm not aware and I'm not looking around. I'm not scoping things out as I'm going along. I'm definitely doing that. But honestly, I think the people in these neighborhoods get a bad rap. Yes, there is crime in Brazil. I've seen it on TV. I also myself tried to act as if like I was going to be attacked everywhere I went. And that's definitely not the case. I've been walking around here for like a week and a half. And the people haven't like tried to welcome me or anything like that, right? But I haven't been attacked by anybody. I've seen those people that I thought maybe I should watch out for, and I've tried to like, you know, avoid them. They're not even looking at me. Now, I'd hate to make this video and all of a sudden tomorrow something happens. that would definitely be funny. But yeah, I would say that this neighborhood or these other neighborhoods that I've filmed at don't present that well, but there are good people here. And I actually try to eat in these neighborhoods more than in the first class area, or the first world areas of Brazil. I think the food is better around here. Not this particular neighborhood, but neighborhoods that look like this have better food, and the price is definitely a lot better than what you're going to get in the other areas. I mean, you might get a nicer looking plate. That doesn't necessarily mean that the food is better. I would say the food is better here. But either way, Chase the Traveler, coming to you from Cuiabá, Brazil, heading over to the mall, Pantanal Mall. See if I can tape an episode there. Again, if you do like my videos, please like and subscribe. Buy me a coffee. Now, even though I did say that there are certain things I don't like about Brazil, doesn't mean that I couldn't live here because of that. Because again, I think these are minor issues. Anyway, thanks again. Chase the Traveler.